too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. This is for people who are black and intelligent, so if you're not black and intelligent, you may want to get the fuck out. I want to wish you a happy Monday. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing well. I'm in my home city of Louisville this week. Came back to visit my family and stuff like that. And Louisville's a hotbed because there's a lot of stuff happening here with Breonna Taylor and stuff like that. And I talked to some people on all sides of the spectrum. I got friends that are cops who gave me some insights that the public does not know. Also, I talked to some people who are protesters who gave me some insights about, the way the cops have been operating. So it's a real interesting situation to observe. I definitely want, justice for Breonna Taylor, and I want fairness no matter what the result ends up looking like. So anyway, I'm doing good. How you doing? Is that Imefalov? How you doing? Somebody said I want to talk to you. You can email my one of my managers at producer@flynubianmedia.com. Some of you have asked about, submitting films for Black Movie Night, stuff like that. Just email producer@flynubianmedia.com. That's producer@flynubianmedia.com. I do not answer emails and stuff directly that often because I get 1,000 emails a day, and so it's very difficult to do that. I want to focus on doing a good job for you guys, so I don't distract myself with things that can be too touchy. So I just gave you guys the email address, so feel free to email that. I see someone says, how do I get in touch with you? So that's how you can do that. All right, so and just so you know, though, I probably won't pick up the phone and make a phone call or anything. No, it's not to be disrespectful. It's just that when you have 1,000 people that want to talk to you, and you're like me, I'm a little bit weird. I'm really focused on what I'm trying to do. Little things can kill your ability to get stuff done. So that's my advice actually to you guys that actually have big goals and big dreams, is that you got to figure out what are your rocks and what's your sand. The sand is the little stuff that keeps you from building your rocks. So figure out what your big goals are. Maybe your rock is your family. Maybe your rock is is building your business. Maybe your rock is losing weight. Maybe your rock is writing a great book, right? But figure out what your rock is, because the thing is, that basically, if you think about a glass, right, and imagine if you fill the glass halfway with sand, right, all the little stuff, right, you fill the glass halfway up with sand, and then you drop a rock in there, you can only get maybe one rock in there because the sand is taking up all the space, right? But if you drop the rocks in first and then you pour in the sand fits in where the rocks have not taken space, right? So you can get 3 or 4 rocks in the glass, and then you start pouring in the sand. So like T.I. said, big shit popping, little shit stopping. Focus on your big shit, because your little shit will get in the way. I promise you. Little conversations, little annoyances, little haters, little irritating people that want to borrow stuff from you and ask you for money and your time and all that. That'll keep you from accomplishing big things. So to accomplish big things, you got to have a big mind. So that's what I encourage you to do. So let me pop into a couple of things that happened this weekend that you might be, that you might find interesting. I did a survey to ask whether or not people think Nick Cannon should have apologized. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you think Nick Cannon should have apologized for his comments that he made. Give me a yes or no if you think Nick Cannon should have apologized. And then I'm going to tell you the survey results. Yes or no? Do you think Nick Cannon should have apologized, or do you think that he should have just held firm? Y'all know what I think. Y'all know what my opinion is, but I wanted to know what your opinion is. Okay, I see a lot of nopes. Okay, I see the nopes coming through on Instagram. My Instagram is the real Boyce Watkins, by the way, if you're not following on Instagram. Okay, I see a lot of nopes. I see a who cares. Okay, heck no. All right, I see a lot of nopes, and that's consistent with the survey results. About 91% of you, when I surveyed you on the YouTube channel, 91% of you approximately said no, he shouldn't have apologized. And I find that really interesting. That really speaks to power, because if you remember in Powernomics, Dr. Claude Anderson explains that power is the ability to pursue your agenda despite the opposition of others, So think about this. You didn't want Nick to apologize. You support Nick. but they were still able to do what they wanted to do. They were still able to do what they wanted to do because they have power, that ability to pursue their agenda despite your opposition, right? So what you have to do is get power of your own, get some power so that you can pursue your agenda, even if other people don't support it, even if other people don't agree. And I agree, Master P said he shouldn't have apologized. Well, Master P is more of a free man than a lot of entertainers are. And so he understands what freedom looks like. So just keep that in mind. So that was the survey result on Nick Cannon, and that's what I saw. Now, another interesting thing that I saw was that Kanye West is running for president. He had his first little campaign rally or something, right? And Kanye, was, being Kanye. And he said some things that were controversial. I think on the surface, if you just look at it and you say, oh, my God, this Negro's crazy, I think that I'm not going to completely disagree with you because some of the things he does is a little bit weird. But I think if you think about what he's doing a little bit deeper, you're going to see that he's not as crazy as you think. Like Kanye made a comment, and I saw some people that got upset about his comment where he said that Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves. She just sent them to go work for white people. But a lot of people took that as a diss on Harriet Tubman. And I'm not going to say you can't take it that way. But I wouldn't be surprised if he said it not as a diss on Harriet Tubman, but as a way of saying that Harriet or that we got to finish the job, right? Because you can't sit here and pretend like black people were free after slavery. I hope that you don't think that slavery made black people free. Like, do you really believe that slavery made black people free? I mean, think about this. Every day you get up, there's a white man over your shoulder telling you what to do. Every day you go out and vote, there's a white man telling you that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, right? You turn on media, you look like a slave, right? So don't sit here and pretend like you actually got freedom. You didn't get freedom. You just got out of the worst kind of slavery and put into a better form of slavery. Slavery is when someone else controls your actions. Slavery is when you can't decide what you're going to do from moment to moment. Slavery is when you want to go left, but they force you to go right, right? So don't pretend like you free. Your ass ain't free. Stop it. Stop it. Stop acting like white folks did a wonderful thing for you and that you've been free since Martin Luther King held a march in Washington, D.C. That didn't free you. Integration did not free you. Integration was subjugation. Integration basically pulled you in a subordinated status. So integration was subjugation, subordination. It was not anything remotely close to freedom. And so I think it's very important to kind of accept that and understand that. Now, speaking on that issue, speaking on integration and civil rights and everything else, we lost a person that is seen by many as a civil rights icon by the name of John Lewis. I have been very silent about John Lewis because I don't like to be a hypocrite. I have been silent about John Lewis because I don't want to say one thing and do another. I've been silent about John Lewis passing because my heart goes out to him and his family, and I don't want to talk bad about a man who just passed. I don't speak on John Lewis. I haven't spoken on him much because I don't have much to say. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you something in his death that is inconsistent with what I would have said a month ago in his life. I'm not going to say something different in death than I would have said in life. A lot of y'all Negroes flip-flop. Y'all get all emotional and dramatic when somebody dies, and suddenly they become iconic and heroic, and you didn't pay no attention to them when they were alive. Well, with John Lewis, I choose not to speak negatively because I think John Lewis did his best based on what he knew at the time. I really believe that at that time, he did the best he could based on what he knew. At that time, there was a belief, a false belief, that we would be in a better position if we could get white people to let us come shop at their stores. That we'd be in a better position if we let white people beat us upside the head until we were bleeding. That we'd be in a better position if we tried to integrate into whatever system white folks had. I think that belief is now incorrect. So I'm not one to armchair quarterback what happened during the civil rights movement, but I am going to say that the same white folks who try to occupy and co-opt your movements today were triply operative back then. The same people that will take something like the Black Lives Matter movement and make it something that is completely contradictory to what most black people want anyway, are the same ones who I think propelled certain individuals to the front of the movement and push certain other individuals to the back using media as a tool. That's why, for example, with the Nick Cannon situation, Tamar Braxton, all that really reminds you that you have to control media to be able to tell your own story, because media was used to elevate specific people in the civil rights movement and push down other people. So they don't want to show you the black man who was cocking and squeezing the gun, who was ready to blow your brains out if you tried to mess with him or his family. They pushed that guy to the back. Instead, they pushed the guy to the front who let white people beat him upside the head with a billy club. Bam, bam, bam. And he did not fight back. Somebody, a sister on Twitter, I wish I had her name in front of me. I think her handle was like Black Liberation 84 or something like that. Nicole's View, that's what she puts up there. She said something that I thought was really profound. She said, John Lewis is celebrated because he let white people beat him to the inch of his life and he never fought back. He said, imagine if they were celebrating a rape victim who let men pummel her physically and rape the hell out of her, and she never fought back. And they said, that's a good girl. That's great. That's good that you did that. That's good that you let them rape you repeatedly and didn't fight back. How would they ever, give me a yes or no, would they ever celebrate something like that? Would they ever celebrate a rape victim who didn't fight back? No, they wouldn't celebrate that. They would say, no, if you're getting raped, you should fight back. You should retaliate. You got to do what you got to do, right? So I think that with John Lewis, maybe he was misled. I was never inspired, by what I saw. I'm not inspired by getting my ass kicked by a white man. That doesn't inspire me to have my woman sit there and watch me let another man beat the shit out of me and me not respond and stand up for myself. I'd rather die. I'd rather be in a casket than to sit there and let someone beat me until I'm almost dead and then somehow brag about the fact that I survived. So I'm not dissing John Lewis at all. He's 80 years old. He just passed. So I want to be very respectful, very diplomatic, very kind, but I think we must understand that there are alternative perspectives. And so when your other heroes, when the other individuals that you might relate to a little bit more, when they pass, you got to celebrate them at an equal magnitude that we celebrate individuals who were associated with the civil rights movement and things like that. Next piece I want to jump into really quick is this whole situation with Tamar Braxton and Nick Cannon. I connect those two because they happen in the same week, and I think that there are lessons that overlap in both of them. Now, I'm not here to be a teacher unless you allow me to be. If you will allow me to be Uncle Boyce for a minute, but also Dr. Boyce for a minute, then I would like to drop some game on you to help you understand what I'm seeing when I saw what happened with Nick and Tamar. Here's what I saw with Nick and Tamar. I saw both of them in a situation where their personal decisions were in contradiction to what Hollywood wanted. That there was the big bad TV network. Here, they want to go over here, and the network basically reeled them in and said, you can't do what you want to do. You have to do what we tell you to do, right? You saw Nick Cannon apologizing for something he should never have apologized for. I asked on my Instagram's The Real Boyce Watkins. I said, did Nick say anything that was incorrect? Did anybody actually prove him wrong? Or did they just punish him and spank him like a child for saying something that they didn't want to hear? Did he let the cat out of the bag and they're not happy that he let the cat out of the bag? Or did he say something that was just blatantly and clearly false? All right. Because if it's false, you can just say, well, that's not true. Let me give you some facts here. Right. But they didn't do that. They just said, we don't like you. We're going to punish you. You need to apologize or else. Right. And Nick had to do that because Nick, unfortunately, was in a position where he is incredibly economically dependent on these individuals in order for him to maintain his lifestyle. Tamar Braxton went through a similar situation with WeTV. I think WeTV might be black owned. I don't know exactly who owns WeTV. I got to look it up. But Tamar, also similar to Nick, was going through it. And in the same week, both Tamar and Nick were very publicly speaking in a language that can only be defined as suicidal. If you listen to their language, when Nick was putting on Twitter, y'all can have this planet, I'm out. Now, unless you become buddies with Elon Musk and y'all built a secret rocket ship that's going to take you to Mars, Leaving the planet means dying. That sounds like death to me. That sounds like you're thinking about dying. And then he puts up another tweet about his buddy or a rapper that was with his label. I didn't even know the man had a label, but with his label, who killed himself. And you're saying, I wish I'd had the courage to do what you did. That sounds pretty suicidal to me, right? And I'm sorry, given that he's a man, I'm only gonna have so much sympathy for him because Nick's a strong man. So part of me is like, okay, I don't want you to do that. I don't think it has to be that bad. Don't kill you. Don't do this, man. Please don't do this. But then the other part of me is like, come on, man. First of all, you're being a little bit of a drama queen right now. You're being over dramatic. Because from what I know about suicide, people that really want to do it, they just do it. They don't announce it. They don't talk about it. They don't get on Twitter and tell 4.9 million people what they're about to do or what they're thinking about doing, so they can get 4.9 million emails saying, please don't do it. We love you, right? That in many cases ends up being a quest for more attention or sympathy, to deviate from the fact that a lot of people were disappointed by how that whole situation turned out with the networks, right? And so with Nick, I have the sympathy, but I only give so much sympathy to a man. If you were a baby or a senior citizen or a disabled person, I would give you more sympathy, but you're a grown-ass man who's very strong, very intelligent, so my sympathy will only go so far. And why am I like that? I'm probably a little bit of a bastard in that category, because I had a relative like that who would constantly tell me he was I'm thinking about killing myself, I'm thinking about it, and he would always do that every time he would ask you for money and you would tell him no, and he'd be like, well, I was thinking about jumping off the bridge. And I swear to God, there was a day where I just got tired of it. I got emotionally exhausted, and I said, you know what? If that's what you want to do, please. Why haven't you done it yet? Like, you know where the bridge is at, man. You need a map. Like, seriously, I want to help you do you. I want to help you accomplish your objective. If your objective is to jump off the damn bridge, then let me show you where the bridge is located so we can get this shit out the way. And here's the thing, right? I remember feeling like, man, I'm going to feel guilty if he actually does anything. But then he actually did do that. He actually, he's not with us anymore. I'm not going to go into any details because it's very personal. And you know what? Years later, I still don't feel guilty because I believe individuals are responsible for their own choices. He made a choice. He made a damn choice. You another man. I'm a man. I make my choices. You a man. You make your choices. That's what it is, right? But I don't think Nick Cannon is suicidal. I think Nick Cannon is embarrassed. I think Nick Cannon is sad. I think Nick Cannon is feeling some kind of way. I think he's a little bit resentful and angry. He feels like the black community betrayed him. But I love it. I love the fact that the black community gave him some pushback, because it's letting him know, look, we are as committed to who we are as your folks over there are committed to who they are. The same people who were putting pressure on you, saying that you disrespected them, we're just as powerful as they are, or just as committed as they are when it comes to standing up for what we believe in. So the same way you would expect them to come down on you for betraying them, we'll come down on you for betraying us. We'll love you. We'll bring you back in. You'll still be invited to the family barbecue, but don't act like you can just get away with the same bullshit that Black Hollywood has been getting away with since forever. They've been peeing on the black community. I mean, doing a complete R. Kelly on black people for 80 years. Like, they've been disrespecting black folks since forever. And they always think that no matter how much I disrespect black people, there will never be a consequence for doing so. No matter how many times I let the black community down, I will never have to pay a price for that. No matter how many times I come up short for black folks, it won't matter as long as I'm delivering for white folks. And that day is gone. That day is gone. So that's what it is, and I think Nick understands that, and I think he needs to learn that. So with that said, the commonality between Nick and Tamar is that you're hearing both of them with this very sad talk. Tamar unfortunately had a situation where she attempted to kill herself, and I just hate the thought of that. Nick is talking suicidal on Twitter, and both of them are in the same situation. Both of them are feeling the natural depression that comes with slavery. I'm not making this up. This is not, this is not me giving you quack science. This is actually scientifically proven that the more you feel enslaved, the more you feel out of control of your own life, the more you feel someone else has power over you, the more depressed you're going to be. Let me just give you an example. They did a study on lab rats, And they can measure how depressed a rat is by the amount of serotonin in his brain. Serotonin is the chemical that I guess it spikes or changes the compounds or something when you get depressed. So they measured the amount of serotonin of rats in two categories. They had one category of rats that were, both categories of the rats actually were getting these random electric shocks, and the shocks hurt. Like they would shock the rat and the rat would be like, zzz, right? And the rat hated it. They hated the pain, right? And so with one category of rats, they gave them a way out. They empowered the rats. They gave the rats empowerment where they could hit a lever to make the shock stop, so they could control their own destiny. They weren't enslaved by the pain they were feeling. They weren't trapped. The other rats had no options. The other rats had to just sit there and take it. So they would fight. They would try to get out the cage. They did everything they could. Then they would just get exhausted and they would give up. So the rat would just be sitting there just getting shocked over and over, knowing that he was gonna have to live with the pain, knowing that he had no choice other than to sit there and just grin and bear it. Like the civil rights movement, let somebody beat you upside the head relentlessly, make you bleed, beat you to an inch of your life, and all you can do at the end of the day is say, I survived. You can't fight back, you can't make it stop, there's nothing you can do, right? So same stuff we celebrate in the black community. So they found that the rats that were in the empowered position where they controlled their fate and could get out of their situation and they could control their destiny were had almost no depression, whereas the rats who had no control, who felt like slaves, who felt trapped, were extremely, extremely depressed. So when you're looking at celebrities that go to Hollywood, namely Tamar Braxton and Nick Cannon, they go to Hollywood, they make a bunch of money, and then suddenly something goes wrong. The network starts asking them to do things that don't fit with who they are, don't fit with their core values, don't fit with their core character, and that they start feeling like slaves. And as a result of feeling like a slave and feeling powerless and feeling trapped and feeling out of control, as Tamar Braxton expressed so eloquently in her letter to WeTV, which you can go read, they start getting sad, depressed, and suicidal. So what I'm telling you is that the massive amount of depression in the black community, I'm not a therapist, but I'm marrying one. So I'm going to make sure I keep running my theories by her to make sure I might be kind of on point. The massive amount of depression that you see in the black community, I believe, is largely driven by the fact that many of your leaders have taught you how to be a better slave. They never taught you the language and the actions and activities and the psychology and the spirituality of a free black man or a free black woman. You don't have the pushback. You don't have the fight in you. Some of y'all don't. You don't have, when you do fight, people tell you that you're stupid, that you better just sit there and take it. You better just let Massa have what he wants because you can't fight back. How can you stand up to Massa? Massa's too powerful, right? A lot of you might get made fun of in your own families because you're the black person who always stood up for yourself. A lot of you might get ridiculed because you're actually the black person who believes that we're equal or better than or as good as anybody else, that we're at least equal to white people. I think black people actually have something special in our DNA. They didn't survive the Middle Passage. They didn't survive the worst form of slavery in the history of mankind. They didn't survive what we went through. They didn't survive Jim Crow, mass incarceration, 250 years of slavery. They didn't survive all of that. So I'm sorry. I kind of think we got a little extra something. And you see it every now and then when you watch the Olympic finals or the 100-meter dash, or where it's all black, because sprinting is genetic. Or when you watch the NBA finals and you've never seen a white version of Shaquille O'Neal, you've never seen a white LeBron James, you've never seen a white Michael Jordan with a 48-inch vertical leap. I'm not trying to say we're superior. I'm not going to get in no black superiority talk, but y'all can read between the lines and understand what I'm saying, that I think we've got something a little bit special that just makes us a little bit more durable than other people because we're the survivors of all that. The weak parts of our gene line died 200 years ago, right? That's what it is. That's what it is. So I would just say at the end of the day, I just reiterate this in hopes that somebody will listen when I say this. You are truly an extraordinary people. You are too great to be enslaved. And I believe that part of the reason that slavery bothers some of you so much is because some people are not meant to be in a cage. Some people's greatness is so great that like it's like trying to put the sun inside an envelope. Like you can't put the sun in an envelope. You can't put the sun in a tiny little dark space. It's just going to shine too hard. The light's going to bust out of that damn thing. The energy is going to make that thing explode. So some of y'all just have so much talent, so much greatness that you have a choice. Either you bust out and you become revolutionary and powerful and unstoppable, or you slowly die. You dim your light so you can fit into the tiny, dark, pathetic space that white people have made for you as black people. I don't want to live in a dark space. I want to let my light shine. So I encourage you to do the same. So anyway, I'm going to go, guys. I hope you have a good day. I hope this was helpful to you. We're about to drive. We're about to hit the road. Alicia just walked in. So that's my cue that I got to get up and bounce. So I hope you guys have a good day. Reminders. Many of you are homeschooling your children. We do free homeschool training out of the Black Business School every Thursday at noon with No Malankum with Shally Moses. I'm encouraging you to get your kids out of those racist schools and keep them home and educate them forever. Like, I think you can do that. We have tools that can help you. So feel free, if you'd like to join, go to theblackHomeschoolNetwork.com, THE. That's theblackHomeschoolNetwork.com. Also, Black Movie Night is July 23rd. We're building a black film industry. We've made several black films that have done extremely well, that have been seen by millions of people. So we're doing the damn thing. We ain't talking about it. We getting it done. And so we're going to show the film Black Friday with Rick Mathis. He's the director. We're going to show it Thursday for free, July 23rd. If you'd like to join us, go to blackmovienight.net. That's blackmovienight.net. Use the hashtag blackmovienight. Also, if you could, please give me a verbal confirmation if you were willing to do this. Please, please, please share this information with others on your social media. We don't have Tyler Perry Lionsgate distribution. Our distribution network is you. So I would like for you to not just observe what's going on. I would love for you to participate. And the way we can use your help is for not just for you to come out and hang out with us, but also if you could share it on your social media and take a deliberate action to let people know what we got going on, because what we have going on is some really good stuff. Okay, guys? So the websites, I'm going to give you the websites again. I can't pin the website because my fingers are too big, so I'm sorry, Newport kid. But it's blackmovienight.net, not .com, blackmovienight.net, and theblackHomeschoolNetwork.com. All right, guys, so I'm going to go, and I wish I you know what, I'm going to put it on my Instagram, so I can't type it in, because if I pick up the phone and do that, it'll be all crazy. But I'm going to put it on my Instagram. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. I will list all those URLs up there so you guys can go take a look. And that's pretty much it. So have a good day, guys. Love you, and I shall see you soon. Take care. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on